first thing because I had 2 surgeries. Now, I have always used anti-inflammatory of helichrysum and artemisia or blue tansy, because those are my. I like blue tansy over any of the chamomile for anti-inflammatory.
Yes, blue tansy's wonderful.
Yeah, and it smells good too, and it's very soothing. So that, and then for the incisions, which healed, I have a great surgeon, so they healed right away. But the worst part then was the burn of radiation.
Yes, so tell us about that. What oils did you use for healing the inflammation of a radiated breast?
First I used pure aloe right out of the aloe plant, because that's about the best thing you can use for a burn. I mean, oils are great, but aloe is even better, so no point in not using it. And I had access to the big aloe plant, so I would just take a little slice of it, open it up, and put that goo all over before and after radiation. And also before and after my shower, 3 or 4 times a day. I had a couple different blends, and they again were the anti-inflammatory, helichrysum, artemisia, maybe some lavender, and I would put that under. Now the worst on breast radiation for me, and I think for most women, is the underneath part, because that's like the most tendered skin. You know, the top part we've tanned before and we've been exposed to the elements, but underneath there is like real easily irritated.
Right.
So that was the only area that, and after this was in the 6th week, that I had finally some irritation. I think I had enough preventative stuff that I did not have the irritation that people usually get. I mean, some people come away with badly burned skin.
Yes, and so what were the results of the treatment that you used? Did you notice that you healed faster?
Yeah, and so did my doctor, you see. And, of course, he didn't want to know what I had done, although I told him in the beginning, they try to tell you not to use anything on your skin because of radiation, which is, I mean, I don't know why, because radiation goes right through the skin, so it doesn't matter what's on the top of the skin. That is going to go through anyway and get to the tissues, so I used it anyway. And I told him I was, you know, and he said, well, you know, he didn't want to know about it, but if I thought it would help, then I could do it. So I did, and at the end, he did admit that, yes, I had a lot less irritation than most women. Now, I don't know other women and didn't compare myself, but according to him, who sees it all the time, he was amazed at the little bit of irritation that I had underneath in the last week only, instead of the...
And there must have been a psycho-emotional benefit to doing something that was, you know, it was empowering, that you had a method that you could use.
Absolutely, and that was it, because with cancer and a lot of other diseases, you feel really betrayed by your body.
That's what I hear.
You know, you lose control. You're not in control. You always thought that, oh, your health determined by your working out and you take the right vitamins and blah, blah. But I truly believe that cancer, my cancer in particular, had an emotional component. It was about unexpressed emotions and things like that I'd stuffed away.
And that's what the statistics show, is that it is related to that.
And so, therefore, a lot of these things come out, you know, while you're 6 weeks. Well, first of all, I mean, it's not a short thing. I found my lump in May, or no, I found it like April. Laying in bed one night, I felt a lump. In May, I had a trip, so I wanted to go on that. I didn't see a doctor until the end of May, and of course they scheduled surgery right away. But it was October before I started radiation. I had a lumpectomy, and then they removed the lymph nodes to see if it had spread, which it hadn't. And so then I just had to have radiation. I didn't have to have chemo. So, again, the best kind. I didn't lose my hair. I didn't get sick. I just had to, every day had to drive over to lay on a table for 2 minutes. And that fatigue was the worst part.
Yes, tell us about that. You know, I know that's one of the side effects of the radiation treatment.
But you know, you got to realize the body heals while it's asleep. That's when healing occurs. That's why our rest is so important. And when you're getting zapped by radiation, that's killing off cells. So the body's got to repair all that. And I was so drowsy. I mean, I would get up in the morning, got my daughter to school. I would go do my walk or run. I think I was still running at that time. I had to walk fast now. Save the joints, you know.
Yes.
And then I would shower, go to my treatment, come home, maybe eat something or lay down, maybe do a few plants and then lay down and then eat and lay down. It was a lot of laying down and a lot of resting. But
and what oils did you use, though, for energy?
Yeah, so I would use the stimulants like when I needed to wake up, and my favorite stimulants would be rosemary, basil, and just a touch of peppermint.
Yes.
That's my favorite stimulant blend. So I'd use those during the day while I was working or after. I was pretty alert in the morning. It was just once I had the treatment, the rest of the day just dragged, you know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to lay down a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think any sickness is, your body needs to lay down, but your mind needs to lay down too. And
yes.
I think sometimes we get sick for that reason because we have not taken that time out for
and your emotions. I think emotions can be quite intense.
Oh, yeah. So I really, like I said, it was an uninvited teacher, but it taught me a lot about myself and other people. I learned to say no. I always never said no. Yes,
which seems to be a big component. You know, that inability to set your boundaries.
Right, yes, boundaries. And that, you know, sometimes when you're a mom and you have a business and you're a caretaker like
and you're a caretaker.
Yeah. It is hard to say no if somebody's in need, you know, but I had to say no because I didn't have the energy for them.
Yeah, you have to fill your own cup. You know, if your cup is empty, you don't have any, you know, you need to build reserves.
Yeah. The other thing I learned, which was real important, was that receiving is important. Like, I had to learn to let people do for me. And partly because that way I gave them something. If I turned it around and looked at it that I'm giving them an opportunity to do something they really want to do because they felt so much better by helping me. And in reality, I'm glad they made my dinner or cleaned my house or whatever they did. And by me letting them do it, it gave
so it was a lesson in learning how to be supported and loved and nurtured by other people.
How to receive. And I used that. I turned it around on those firemen in New York that didn't want to get massaged because they were survivors. And I'm like, no, but if, you know, Bill was sitting here, he would want you to get it, you know, if you could talk now or whatever, you know, that you got to take care of yourself. And I came here to give to you, so let me do this. And so that was a big lesson for me, too.
So what oils did you use to calm your mind and emotions and help you relax and get a good night's sleep?
Well, geranium has always been my good balancer.
Now, is that the rose geranium or?
Yeah, rose geranium, yeah. And often I use that with rosemary again for the stimulant properties, but the geranium part for the balancing. And then good old lavender. Lavender and sweet marjoram would be my knocking myself out, but I didn't really have a problem knocking out. My problem was more staying awake.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about German chamomile? Don't you find that?
I just don't like the smell of it.
Yeah.
Personally, it doesn't work as well for me. That's why I like the blue tansy to me. Oh, that's so soft and cuddly.
Have you had the English German chamomile?
I don't think so.
I'll send you some. It's amazing. There's nothing like the English German chamomile because the other German chamomiles to me just don't have the sweetness.
Yeah.
So I know, you know. And also spikenard can be quite wonderful, but that's another one that's hard to get a distillation that's, you know. And
I even like spikenard, but my problem, like I said, even before cancer, was never going out. It's waking up.
Yes.
I need the stimulants, like coffee is my choice.
Yes.
Or a drink.
Yes.
I want to wake up a little bit. But,
so tell us about receiving long-distance Reiki from several practitioners I know. During this time you were receiving Reiki. Was that helpful to you?
Yeah, and you know what the coolest thing was they all separately, independently recommended geranium. The rose geranium, the very thing I was using, you know, for baths and stuff. So that was really cool. The other neat thing was not only the Reiki therapists, but all the people that loved and cared about me that were on the list at the time, and I mean it was all over the world. The morning of my second surgery, by the time I knew I had cancer, and then they were going for the lymph nodes. When I was going in to surgery, I had the neatest feeling of all these faces looking down at me.
Oh, yes. Tell us about that, just prior to your second surgery.
Yeah, they knew that they knew what time, because I had written, you know.
I heard there were like